The story surrounding Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury has never really stopped unfolding. Even after the final bell rang on their second fight in 2024, even after the belts were counted, the records updated, and the press conferences wrapped, the tension between their legacies continued to hang in the air. This was never just about two heavyweight fights. It was about eras colliding, identities being challenged, and the uncomfortable truth that even when a rivalry seems finished on paper, it can still feel unfinished in spirit. When Oleksandr Usyk defeated Tyson Fury for the second time in 2024, it wasn't merely another win added to a resume. It was a statement that echoed across the heavyweight division. Fury, the self-proclaimed Gypsy King, the man who had built his myth on invincibility and psychological warfare, had now tasted defeat not once, but twice, and both times at the hands of the same man. No controversy, no excuses that could fully stick. Just a clear result that forced the boxing world to reassess everything it thought it knew about dominance at heavyweight. For Fury, the losses marked a breaking point. Shortly after the back-to-back defeats, he announced his retirement from boxing, framing it as a decision rooted in fulfillment rather than frustration. He spoke about having nothing left to prove, about walking away on his own terms. Some believed him, others didn't. Boxing fans, especially those who have followed Fury's career, have learned to treat his retirement announcements with caution. Fury has stepped away before, only to return when the itch became too strong to ignore. This time, though, the timing felt different. Losing twice to Usyk seemed to cut deeper than any setback he'd faced before. Usyk, meanwhile, didn't celebrate like a man who had slain a dragon. His demeanor remained measured, almost reflective. Victory didn't change his tone or inflate his ego. If anything, it reinforced the calm confidence that has defined his entire heavyweight run. He had done what many believed was impossible. He outthought, outmaneuvered, and outlasted a much larger opponent who had built a career on bending fights to his will. Twice. Yet even as Fury stepped away, the heavyweight division refused to settle. Usyk, now holding the WBC, WBA, and IBF titles, made a decision that surprised many. He vacated the WBO belt, a move that immediately shifted the landscape and reignited conversations about undisputed status. In boxing, belts are more than metal and leather. They are leverage, legacy, and opportunity. By vacating one title while holding the others, Usyk wasn't stepping back. He was repositioning. Around the same time, Usyk made it clear that his eyes were still on big challenges. Names like Deontay Wilder began circulating again, reigniting fantasies of explosive clashes and unfinished business. For Usyk, the heavyweight chapter was far from over. He wasn't interested in padding his record or coasting on past victories. He wanted fights that meant something, fights that added weight to his legacy rather than noise to his resume. Then, in January, the storyline took another sharp turn. Tyson Fury announced that he was coming back. The declaration didn't come quietly. Fury has never been subtle, even when he's trying to sound reflective. He framed 2026 as his comeback year, speaking with a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. He talked about being in a great place mentally, physically, and emotionally. He spoke of training, of discipline, of rediscovering the hunger that once made him the most unpredictable force in the division. And as always, he did it in a way that made people listen, whether they believed him or not. Soon after, footage began emerging of Fury training in Thailand. Sweaty, focused, moving with intent. It was the kind of imagery that reignites belief, even among skeptics. Fighters don't put themselves through that kind of grind if they're only half serious. Fury wasn't just talking, he was preparing. He made it clear that he wanted a warm-up fight booked before the end of April, a way to shake off the rust and test himself before stepping back into a major summer showdown. Then came the Instagram video. Fury, smiling, energized, and unmistakably confident, spoke directly to the camera about his motivation and excitement for the year ahead. He called it a fantastic place to be, mentally and emotionally. He teased that something big was coming. hinting at a major announcement that would soon change the conversation again. The caption said it all. Work update 2026, let's go, massive announcement incoming. With those words, the heavyweight world leaned forward. Whenever Fury moves, Oleksandr Usyk's name is never far behind. The two are now permanently linked, whether they like it or not. Their rivalry has defined this era of heavyweight boxing, and any move one makes inevitably invites questions about the other. So when Fury's comeback talk began heating up, it was only a matter of time before Usyk was asked the question everyone was thinking. Would he fight Fury again? Usyk's response was calm, concise, and telling. He didn't shut the door. He didn't sound dismissive or defensive. Instead, he acknowledged the possibility with a simple "why not?" before adding the condition that changes everything. He would only agree to a trilogy if it was for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship again. That single sentence reshaped the entire narrative. This wasn't about settling scores or revisiting old drama. Usyk wasn't interested in nostalgia or spectacle for spectacle's sake. For him, a third fight with Fury would only make sense if it carried the highest possible stakes. Undisputed status isn't just another accolade. It's the ultimate validation, the rare achievement that separates great champions from historical ones. By making that condition public, Usyk made his priorities unmistakably clear. In doing so, he also applied pressure, not just on Fury, but on the entire division. For Fury, the message was both an invitation and a challenge. A trilogy fight would not be handed to him simply because of his name or past accomplishments. He would have to earn it. That means climbing back into title contention, securing the right belts, and proving that he belongs at the very top again. It's a far cry from simply announcing a comeback and expecting the world to rearrange itself. The path back to Usyk is neither short nor guaranteed. Fighters like Fabio Wardley, the current WBO champion, have already expressed interest in facing Fury. For Fury, that kind of matchup could serve as a stepping stone, a chance to re-establish momentum while moving closer to the kind of fight Usyk would consider worthy. Every decision from here on out carries weight. Every opponent matters. What makes this dynamic so compelling is the contrast between the two men at this stage of their careers. Usyk, though smaller by heavyweight standards, has built his reign on discipline, adaptability, and an almost surgical approach to boxing. He doesn't chase chaos. He controls it. Fury, on the other hand, has always thrived on unpredictability, on bending narratives and opponents alike. Their clashes weren't just physical battles. They were philosophical ones. And yet, despite defeating Fury twice, Usyk isn't positioning himself as a gatekeeper or a man clinging to past victories. His condition for a trilogy isn't rooted in ego. It's rooted in meaning. If a fight doesn't push the sport forward, if it doesn't represent the highest possible level of competition, then in Usyk's eyes, it isn't worth revisiting. That stance says as much about Usyk as his victories do. It reveals a fighter who understands legacy in a long-term sense, who recognizes that not all big fights are equal, and that timing matters just as much as talent. A third fight with Fury, under the right circumstances, could define an era. Under the wrong ones, it could dilute everything they've already built. For Fury, the challenge now is internal as much as external. Can he accept a road that doesn't begin with immediate redemption? Can he commit to rebuilding rather than reclaiming? His confidence suggests he believes he can. His training suggests he's willing to try. But boxing history is littered with comebacks that promised everything and delivered very little. The heavyweight division watches closely, aware that the next year could reshape everything once again. If Fury successfully returns and works his way back into title contention, the demand for a trilogy will become impossible to ignore. If he stumbles, the conversation may quietly fade, leaving the 2 wins Usyk already holds as the final word. Until then, Usyk remains exactly where he wants to be, champion, calm, and in control of his narrative. He isn't chasing Fury. He's waiting, but only on his terms. And that's what makes this story far from over. Because boxing isn't just about who punches harder or who's bigger on fight night. It's about timing, leverage, and the willingness to risk everything when the moment truly matters. Whether a third fight between Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury ever happens will depend on far more than desire. It will depend on belts, choices, and whether both men can align their paths once again at the very top of the sport. So now the question turns to you. Do you believe Tyson Fury can earn his way back to an undisputed showdown with Oleksandr Usyk? Or has that chapter already closed for good? Would a trilogy add to their legacy or risk tarnishing it? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you want more in-depth, story-driven breakdowns of the biggest moments in boxing and beyond, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay locked in. There's another video coming up on your screen right now that dives even deeper into the heavyweight drama. So go ahead and click it, and I'll catch you in the next one.